"We're restructuring your role, Ellen," Cynthia Reynolds said, her voice tinged with a smug edge she couldn't quite hide. She sat across from me in a sterile conference room at Nexus Tech, flanked by Karen from HR, both wearing practiced looks of corporate sympathy. "The company's shifting focus," Karen added, sliding a folder toward me. "Your work has been appreciated, but we're merging research into product development." I nodded, taking the folder without flipping it open. Inside, I knew, was the standard severance deal: 2 weeks pay per year of service, 3 months of health coverage, and career counseling I'd never touch. "I understand," I said, my voice calm. "These calls are tough." Their relief was palpable. They'd braced for a fight. After all, I was a 57-year-old woman being nudged out of tech, where youth trumped experience. What they didn't know was I'd seen this coming for weeks, ever since a stray email chain landed in my inbox, outlining plans to streamline my department. "Clear your desk by Friday," Cynthia said, her confidence growing. "We'll need your keycard, laptop, and phone. Your team will be informed today." My team, 7 brilliant engineers I'd recruited and mentored, the ones who helped me build the core algorithm behind Nexus Tech's flagship product, Data Sync, used by half the Fortune 500. "Of course," I said, standing. "Anything else?" They blinked, thrown by my composure. "That's it," Cynthia said. "Thanks for keeping this professional. My name's Ellen Harper, and after 17 years at Nexus Tech, I was being discarded like outdated software. But I wasn't blindsided. I'd prepared for this betrayal, and in just days, I'd turn their mistake into my victory. This is a story of being underestimated, outsmarting a system, and claiming what's yours. Stick with me, because if you've ever been pushed aside despite your worth, you'll feel every moment of this, and the ending will show you what it means to rewrite the script. As I walked back to my office, I passed the glass-walled boardroom, where CEO Nathan Caldwell was pitching Q4 forecasts to executives. The same Nathan who'd claimed my algorithm as team innovation at last year's tech summit, reducing me to a valued contributor. I shut my door and texted my contact. "David Pierce, CEO of Apex Innovations, Nexus Tech's top rival, it's happening. Friday's my last day." His reply was instant: "Perfect. Contracts ready. Dinner tonight to finalize?" I smiled, glancing at my calendar. Today was Wednesday. Friday, I'd leave Nexus Tech forever. Monday, the game would change. That night, I met David at a discreet bistro across town, tucked into a private booth behind velvet curtains. "They really did it," David said, shaking his head as we ordered. "Pushing out the woman who built their backbone?" "Nathan never grasped what I created," I said, sipping sparkling water. "He saw the shiny interface, the sales numbers, not the architecture holding it together." The irony was delicious. For months ago, I'd noticed Nexus Tech's legal team hadn't filed a patent for my data processing algorithm, a clerical error, they'd said when I asked. Their cagey response raised red flags, so I dug deeper. A leaked memo revealed their plan: claim the algorithm as company property, no named inventor, and ease me out before securing the patent, banking on employee IP clauses. But they'd missed something. For months, I'd been refining the algorithm on my personal laptop, on my own time, boosting its efficiency by 47%. That work wasn't Nexus Tech's, it was mine. I'd filed a patent in my name 6 weeks ago, backed by airtight logs proving it was independent. Thanks to David's IP lawyer, it was approved in record time. "Everything's set," David said, passing me a folder. "Sign, and Apex acquires exclusive licensing rights. Press release drops Monday, naming you Chief Technology Officer." I scanned the terms: a multi-million-dollar bonus, equity in Apex, and royalties on all products using my algorithm. What'll Nathan's face look like when he hears? David grinned. "I'm more worried about my team," I said. "They're caught in this." "Handled," he replied. "Senior roles for all 7, with raises, if they want in." I signed, raising my glass. "To new beginnings." "To owning your worth," David added, clinking his. Thursday and Friday were a whirlwind of exit meetings and goodbyes. I stayed professional, even as colleagues whispered and assistants shot me pitying looks. I documented every process, every password, not out of kindness but as proof I'd acted in good faith while Nexus Tech hadn't. During my final HR interview, Karen droned through the checklist. "You understand all IP developed during employment belongs to Nexus Tech." She slid a non-disclosure agreement my way. "Naturally," I said, signing. "Anything created on company time, with company resources." My emphasis was subtle, but Karen, buried in her forms, missed it. "And you've taken no proprietary data?" "Nothing that's Nexus Tech's," I said, truthful. "My patent was mine." As I packed my desk, family photos, a mug from my team, a plaque for the algorithm. Cynthia lingered in my doorway, feigning concern. Just checking everything's smooth, she said. All set, I replied, wrapping the plaque. You know, Ellen, these restructurings aren't personal. Nathan wants a younger vibe. I met her eyes. Business is business. A flicker of doubt crossed her face, but she brushed it off. Taking some time off? No, I start Monday. I said. Leadership role. Very exciting. She nodded, distracted. Good luck. As I left Nexus Tech's sleek headquarters, keycard surrendered, I glanced at the top-floor boardroom, lit for a late meeting. They were likely carving up my duties, oblivious to the storm coming. In 72 hours, that room would be a war zone. Monday morning, I stepped into Apex Innovations headquarters, dressed in a tailored navy suit, ready for my first day as CTO. At 7 a.m., the press release hit. Apex Innovations acquires exclusive rights to groundbreaking algorithm, names creator. Dr. Ellen Harper, Chief Technology Officer. It highlighted my role as the sole inventor and warned that companies using the technology, like Nexus Tech, would need licensing deals with Apex. By 9:15, my phone pinged with a text from my lead engineer, Sophia, at Nexus Tech. Chaos here. What did you do? I replied, check your personal email. Offers for all 7 of you. Across town, Nexus Tech's Monday meeting had imploded. Sophia's updates painted the scene. Nathan arrived to find the general counsel and CFO at his door, pale, clutching the press release. By 9:30, their routine check-in was a crisis session, board members dialing in, legal scrambling to review my contract. They're pulling every file with your name, Sophia texted. Someone dragged in the research servers. I could see Nathan pacing, barking at Cynthia, the stock ticking down as investors panicked. At 10:50, Nathan emailed me, Ellen, there's been a misunderstanding. Call me ASAP. I forwarded it to Apex's legal team, silent. By noon, Nexus Tech's stock was down 8%, Apex is up 14%. Tech journals clamored for interviews about the industry shakeup. How's it feel? David asked, popping into my corner office. Vindicated, I said. 17 years of being sidelined, and now, finally, my name where it belongs. My assistant interrupted, Nexus Tech's CEO has called 5 times. I'm in meetings, I said. Legal can discuss licensing later. Sophia texted again, boards in emergency mode. Nathan's losing it. P.S. We're all in for Apex. When do we start? By Tuesday, Nexus Tech was reeling. Data sync, their cash cow, relied on my algorithm. Without licensing, they faced rebuilding. From scratch, years of work, millions in costs, or paying Apex steep fees. Nathan's holding an all-hands at 2 o'clock, Sophia reported. Says they'll defend our tech. Rumor is they're suing. I sent it to legal, who replied. Let them. Your logs, timestamps, personal equipment, are bulletproof. At Apex, I settled in fast. Meetings felt different, people listened, my experience valued, not dismissed. Your upgrades are testing at 53% efficiency gains, David said during a briefing. Better than we hoped. I held back refinements at Nexus Tech, I admitted. No point giving my best to a company planning to dump me. Their mistake, our win, David said. Another rival, Streamline Tech, inquired about licensing, spooked by Nexus Tech's freefall. At 3:45, Sophia detailed Nathan's all-hands. He swore the tech is theirs, but everyone's nervous. Cynthia looked sick when someone asked about the patent. Nathan shut it down. Employees were jumping ship, LinkedIn profiles updating overnight. By Wednesday, the fallout was brutal. 2 data sync clients contacted Apex about switching, citing Nexus Tech's instability. Their stock sank another 9%, Apex is climbing 10%. Karen from HR called, her tone stiff. Ellen, about your patent, we think there's confusion over ownership. No confusion, I said. My contract's clear, IP developed on my time, my equipment, is mine. The patent proves it. Nathan wants to discuss options. Tell him to call Apex's legal team, I said. They'll set up a licensing meeting. Her silence screamed defeat. That afternoon, I presented Apex's tech roadmap to the board, my algorithm at its core. David's nod felt like the respect I'd craved for years. By Friday, Nexus Tech was in full meltdown. Their stock had crashed 25% since Monday, investors livid. Analysts published pieces like Can Nexus Tech survive the patent fiasco? Nathan finally admitted the crisis to the board, facing 2 grim paths, license from Apex at crippling rates or rebuild data sync without my tech. They're hiring a new dev team, Sophia said on a call, prepping for her Apex start. Nathan claims they'll replicate it in 6 months. I laughed. It took me 4 years. Good luck. Her team's mass exit gutted Nexus Tech's expertise, amplifying the damage. Monday, 10 days after my firing, I led my first Apex innovation meeting with Sophia and the crew. The vibe was electric, no executives needing basic concepts spoon-fed. This is how it should be, Sophia said. At Nexus Tech, we wasted hours on clueless VPs. Here, you're valued, I said. My assistant rushed in. Nexus Tech's board just ousted Nathan Caldwell and Cynthia Reynolds, effective now. The news spread fast. Blogs reported the board's lost faith in Nathan's leadership after the patent blunder. The legal chief was out too, blamed for the oversight. That night, Nexus Tech's new interim CEO, Paul Grayson, emailed, Dr. Harper, congratulations on your role. I'm addressing Nexus Tech's challenges. Can we discuss fair licensing, with public acknowledgement of your work? I forwarded it to David. Phase 1 done. He replied, masterful. The board's toasting your win. Nexus Tech is learning a costly lesson. 3 months later, I keynote the Global Tech Summit. The intro boomed. Dr. Ellen Harper, CTO of Apex Innovations, creator of the data processing algorithm transforming industries. The applause was deafening. A year ago, I'd sat in the back at the summit, watching Nathan take credit for my work. Now, I own the stage. Today, we'll explore innovation, ownership, and valuing creators. I began, weaving my algorithms tech with a call for fair recognition. Afterward, young engineers, mostly women, approached for advice. Your story changed me, one said. I log all my personal work now. Smart, I said. Protect what's yours. A news alert pinged. Nexus Tech signed a licensing deal with Apex, naming me as the algorithm's creator. Their stock steadied, but at a lower valuation. Apex's soared. 1 year to the day after my desk clearing, I sat in my Apex office, reviewing a report. 3 new products leveraging my algorithm had stolen market share from Nexus Tech. David knocked, holding champagne. Happy anniversary, he said. Apex just passed Nexus Tech in market value, first time ever. I grinned, not gloating, but content. That's what happens when you respect innovation. An envelope arrived, an invite to speak at Women in Tech's Leadership Summit on owning your intellectual value. You're an icon, David said. The exec who didn't see your worth until it was too late is a boardroom warning. Paul Grayson, still Nexus Tech's CEO, had revamped their IP policies, mirroring Apex's, a nod to my influence. It wasn't about revenge, I said, toasting. It was about credit, showing innovation has a name, and it's mine. At 58, I'd found what I'd chased for decades, not just success, but recognition. My algorithm, my name, my legacy, etched in an industry that once overlooked me, now forever changed.